Building and maintaining strong relationships is key. Like, major key. Major key. Hello and welcome to part 2 of how I leveled up and started achieving both career and life goals. If you didn't catch part 1, stop right where you are and go back and watch part 1, because in part 1 we talk about mindset, and it is just way more important that you focus on mastering your mindset first before you try and strategize any other part of your life. So please make sure that you go back and watch part 1 of this series and then come back and we'll get into part 2. Here in part 2, we're going to focus on what tools and strategies I use to get my career started as a professional dancer here in LA. My career is in the entertainment industry, but I do think that the tips I'm going to be sharing can be applied throughout many different careers in entertainment or not in entertainment. So take these tools with you as you will. Before I get into it, I just want to give a quick backstory on what I do and what I did to get connected in the industry. When I first decided I wanted to move to LA, the big step that I took was doing a 2-month-long training dance intensive in LA in 2019. This program set me up in so many ways and was one of the best investments that I have ever made in myself. At that point, I was still living in Albuquerque, but I knew that this program would set me up into a position that I would be able to move to LA in the very near future. At the top of 2020, I did decide to move to Los Angeles. Because of this training program that I did, it got me connected with an agency who was interested in signing me. So I decided to make the move. Of course, then the pandemic hit. That was a shit show. But I decided to stick it out. And now that we're out of the pandemic, I had my first really successful year in 2022. I've booked more jobs than I ever have. I've worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, but I'm definitely still just getting started in my career. I'm still a newbie. I'm in no way claiming to be a master in any way. I did feel it on my heart to share some of the stuff that I've learned along the way, because I get asked all the time about my experience. So I'm gonna walk you through the 5 most important things that I have done personally on my journey to get to my goals faster. Let's get into it. The first thing that we're gonna focus on, number 1, apply the mindset stuff. Yeah, from part 1. That's the first thing, but seriously. The first thing that we're gonna talk about, and one of the most important things that I've done, is to invest in myself with both my time and my money. First, let's talk about time. Investing time into your craft or into whatever's gonna make you great, or whatever's gonna get you to your goal, is arguably the most important thing you can do. The 10,000 hour rule. It takes 10,000 hours of practice to achieve mastery at whatever skill. So if your goal is to be great, you gotta invest a great amount of time. I think I have definitely put more than 10,000 hours into my craft as a dancer. And what's crazy is there is still so much work to be done. It never stops. You never arrive. For reference, I started dancing when I was 3 years old, literally when I could walk. My mom put me in dance classes, but I started taking it more seriously when I was 14, when I got into high school, and now I'm 22. But seriously, if your goal is to be an amazing dancer, you have to dance. You have to study. You have to take care of your body. Not sometimes, but all the time. Every day. And child, I'm working on it. This goes for anything. If you want to be an amazing artist, you have to do art. You have to draw, you have to paint. If you want to be an amazing filmmaker, you have to watch films and you have to write and you have to shoot. Not once in a while, but all the time. You have to be investing the time into your craft. Am I perfect at this? No, of course not. But it is obviously something that I love to do, so I'm always going to find my way back. Find your way back. Let me not get copywritten for just singing the lyrics. Now let's talk about money. How much you invest in yourself is a direct reflection of how much you value yourself. Training that I have attained over the years was definitely not cheap, and I'm so grateful to my parents for always finding a way to make it happen for me. I got older and I started to do more like summer dance intensives and stuff. We would always fundraise, and like I said, these programs aren't cheap. But from a young age, I really understood the importance and the value that I would get from doing these programs. In the introduction, I briefly mentioned the training program that I did in LA in 2019. And that program completely changed the trajectory of my career. I was 19 at this point, so I was making my own money. And this was a 2-month-long program. It was definitely a large investment. One of the larger investments, probably the largest investment I'd ever made in myself at this point. It wasn't just coming up with the cost of the program, it was coming up with housing in LA for 2 months and just living in LA for 2 months. So like, it was a chunk of change that I had to figure out how I was gonna make it happen. I remember when I first got accepted into the program, thank God, hallelujah, but I looked at the price and I said, oh my God, like, how am I gonna afford this? That's automatically where my brain went. But once I made the decision that like, yes, I want to do this program and I know it is going to give me so much value and set me up in a winning position for my career, I just knew I had to make it happen. The money was gonna come from somewhere. It was the best thing I could have done. This program, in case you're wondering, was Rhapsody James's Motivating Excellence. If you're a dancer, you should know who Rhapsody James is. If you don't, go look her up. She's incredible. I don't think she does this program anymore, but there are so many training programs, mentorship programs, commercial dance industry programs that you can look into, and you just have to find the one that feels right for you. This program specifically was a commercial dance industry program, and it cut the learning curve in half for me. In terms of learning what it meant and what it takes to be a professional dancer in the commercial industry. And it set me up with relationships that I cherish to this day. And I would purchase the program 100 times over. Stop being cheap with yourself. I'm learning the importance of this more and more as I get older. I actually just did my first mentorship program for personal development, and it changed my life. A quote that my mentor actually passed down to me just a few weeks ago was, quote, "Use your wallet to fill up your mind, and your mind will fill up your wallet." Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Use your wallet to fill up your mind, and your mind will fill up your wallet. When I heard that, it stuck with me because it makes sense. The more that I invest in myself, the better I get, like, as a person, at life. For dancers, investing in yourself can look like taking classes, enrolling in training programs or mentorship. Also, investing in quality headshots, investing in your look, getting your hair done, learning how to do your makeup. Learn how to do your makeup, learn how to do your hair. So have a couple killer outfits for auditions. Also look like investing in quality content for your Instagram or for your dance reel. To the best of your ability, you want to put forth high quality material because people want to work with high quality people. Stop cutting corners. And trust me, I get it. You might not always have the financial means, but I had to realize it's all about what you prioritize. You should prioritize investing in yourself and your career because you're worth it. You are worth it. So stop cutting corners. And if you don't invest in yourself, nobody else is going to want to invest in you either. Moving on, our second focus is going to be building relationships. Building and maintaining strong relationships is key. Like, major key. Major key. It's all about who you know. Your network is your net worth. These statements are true. And honestly, let's talk about this first. In order to build relationships and friendships, have to be likable. Not in the people-pleasing, like, I want everybody to like me type way. Like, you have to be a good person. And you have to be good to be around and good to work with. That's not what we're focusing on right now, but let's remember that. I've been in LA for 3 years now, and it's pretty much taken me 3 years to get to a point where I feel like I have some really solid relationships and friendships. That is partially due to the pandemic, but I'm just so grateful that I have arrived at this place now. As a dancer, you're gonna want to focus on building relationships with people like teachers, choreographers, assistant choreographers, mentors, and friends. All of these people are of equal importance. How did I start building these relationships? Some of the most important people in my career came out of motivating excellence. So, using step 1, investing in myself, to achieve step 2, building relationships. They all go together. I'm gonna use my experience as an example. My goal was to come to LA, get signed to an agency, and start working. And I did exactly that, okay? God bless. But these are the things that I focused on while building relationships, and some things that I learned along the way. The first step when, I was trying to figure out my dance career, and honestly, it didn't necessarily go as easily in this order. I kind of had to learn the hard way, but this is how I would set it up if I had done everything the easy way, and in the way that I hope you're able to do things now that you're watching this video. Like, you gotta reverse engineer a little bit. Question, what kind of jobs do you want to work on? Commercials, TV shows, movies, award shows, live stage performances, music videos, so much. Are there any specific artists you want to dance with? What choreographers do you want to work with? Figuring this out can be a little bit stressful at first because there are just so many teachers, different choreographers, different types of jobs. When I first came to LA, it was very easy to be in the wrong classes. Especially now that we have social media. When I first came here, I did not know any better. I would see and follow and look up to people who I saw on Instagram who had the most followers or the viral dance videos every week. And of course, that's who I wanted to train with. Like, be for real. I had to learn that those people, 9 times out of 10, are not the ones that are gonna book you on a job or are even gonna notice you in a class. Saying that those teachers can't serve a purpose, but for me, it wasn't serving the purpose that I was going for. So you figure that out. Second question, who is choreographing these jobs? Another important question, who are those choreographers' assistants? Because sometimes it's hard to get in front of like a big choreographer. Oftentimes they're not even like on the scene, like you don't see these people. But oftentimes, maybe the assistant choreographer teaches a class, or maybe you're just more likely to run into them in the dance community in a class setting, and you can introduce yourself and connect, network. And quick note, as a dancer, if you do have an agent, I highly suggest that you set up a meeting with your agent to discuss your goals. Odds are you probably had this meeting when you first got signed, but if your goals have changed, if you see new things for yourself, conversation again so you're both on the same page, and they can help provide you with like a list of this information that I'm saying you should collect. That's exactly what I did. My agent gave me a list of choreographers and teachers that I should be taking their classes in order to like directly get into the jobs that I was specific about that I wanted to obtain. Did that make sense? But if you don't have an agent, don't worry. This information is accessible. Have to do a little bit of digging online, on Instagram, but you got it. Don't worry. Want to build and maintain relationships, you have to be consistent. Once you decide who you want to be training with, show up. Like, keep showing up. There are lots of benefits to having a good relationship with a teacher. And one of them, for me personally, is being able to guest a class. That means you don't have to pay for it, because I've shown my consistency, taking their class, showing up. I've introduced myself. I'm friendly. I have good energy. I work hard in class. And once you've done these things, don't be shy. Go on. Ask them if they have any guest spots available for class. Close mouths, don't get fed. The worst thing they are gonna say is no, they don't have any spots, or all the spots are filled. You have a good relationship with the teacher and you're saving money. It is a win-win. Kind of covered, teacher, choreographer a little bit, but another essential relationship that you need to have, no matter what your career is, going to be a mentor. And I can make a whole separate YouTube video about this because I'm just now getting woke to not having a mentor, but like consistently having mentorship. So we'll have to discuss this another time, but definitely write that down. Like, we gotta have mentorship in our lives. if we want to cut the learning curve in half and avoid mistakes and just have, you know, a great network and community of people in your niche, your genre, your career path. And last but certainly not least is friendships. It took me a while to get to the point where I feel like I have a lot of real supportive friends in LA. And yeah, that was kind of a hard process. Like, moving to a new city and making friends is not easy. I'm not gonna say that it's easy because it's not. But now that I am at this point in my life, it really makes all the difference. And this is kind of funny. I don't know. I get asked this all the time, like, is making friends in LA hard because, like, oh, are people fake? Are people rude? Are people superficial, etc.? I am a believer that you attract into your life what you put out. So when I get asked if I attract a lot of rude and low vibrational people, my answer is no. Because I am not a rude nor a low vibrational person. And I don't go out into the world thinking, mindset, catch it, mindset. I don't go out into the world thinking, oh my gosh, I'm anxious to meet new people because they're gonna be fake and they're gonna be rude, gonna use me. Because, like, if that's where your energy is flowing, that's what you're focusing on, odds are that's what you're gonna attract. But I have not had, like, poor experiences with, like, so many, like, fake ass people. And I also make sure that my energy is always coming correct and it's not coming wishy-washy or weird or whatever. Anyway, it is important to have friends both in your industry and outside of your industry. Like, very important. I booked a lot of jobs. Maybe I had a friend working on that job and they needed someone and my friend suggested me. Or maybe my friend is choreographing something and they want to work with me. Just a reminder, like, you never know what rooms your name is being spoken in. So that is constantly a great reminder for me to really show up in a great way and to nurture the friendships and the relationships that I have. Ha! Also, get out of those relationships that aren't serving you. Get away from people who don't believe in what you're pursuing. Away from people that talk you out of stuff. Child, that is a whole nother video. But I just had to throw that in there. So the third focus that I am bringing you all today is gonna be to know yourself. Know thyself. Didn't Socrates say that? He ate when he said know thyself. It does not matter what industry you are in. It does not matter. The most important things that I have done so far in my career and, like, important time spent has been to learn who I am. Like, really study who I am and what I do best. And speaking from experience, especially in the entertainment industry, it is just so easy to waste so much time comparing yourself to other people. Comparison is something that we all struggle with. It's just what we do. And since you watched part 1 of this series, and I love you so much for watching part 1 of this series, mwah, you probably already know what I'm about to say. A powerful tool that I use to actively stop comparing myself to others is living by my mantras, constantly affirming myself, and reminding myself who I am first thing in the morning. Like, you gotta start your day off. If you listen to that podcast that I linked down in the description box of part 1, then you probably got, like, some great information. But one thing that they talk about in that podcast, and specific to your mantras, is you have to, like, start your day with your mantras. You have to start with reminding yourself who you are, so that when those comparison thoughts, when those bad thoughts come in, it's like, you already woke up and started your day knowing who the you are. Now it's not about, now you have to work harder because the bad thoughts came in and you didn't have a good thought in your brain. That's what he says in the podcast. Go listen to the podcast. It changed my life. But anyway, constantly affirming myself. I am a phenomenal dancer. I have so much to offer just by being myself. I love my personal style. People love my authenticity. These are affirmations that I use. Being able to overcome comparison is definitely a mindset thing. Now, second point in this, it's really easy to get caught up in the myth that you have to be versatile or, like, you have to be able to do it all. Understanding what it is that you do best and leaning into it is so important. Being versatile and having multiple skills is obviously a plus, but it shouldn't be your main goal to the point where you're trying to develop so many different skills, trying to fit in so many different molds that they're all just kind of and none of them are really strong. So my suggestion for any dancers coming into the industry, figure out like what you love to do, what feels the best, and what you're just naturally gifted at, and lean into it. Authenticity is relatable, so that's the most important thing before you're trying to like have all these skills and fit into like all these different molds. Who you are can also have to do with knowing your look and making sure you're always putting your best foot forward in that sense as well. Obviously, if you're in entertainment, if you are a dancer, a model, an actor, performer, whatever, selling yourself, you have really cool hair, make sure your hair always looks really good. If you have really great style, pour into it and like be consistent and always show up like to those rooms and to those places looking fly. Six-pack abs like my friend Jana, and you're in an audition, show them off. You know, just put your best foot forward and be authentic. So I always have to remind myself of what I bring to the table, and that what I bring to the table is beautiful and specific to who I am. I want people to hire me for me. So stop trying to be someone else or match someone else's swag or steez or style or whatever. Like I said, I'm in my early 20s and I feel like you really don't start to fully know who you are until you're like 30. So give yourself grace and just spend a lot of time with yourself. Moving on. The fourth focus that I'm coming with today is the importance of pitching yourself. And I think this applies to any and every career, not even just in entertainment. But if you want a certain job, a certain position, certain opportunity, don't wait. Pitch yourself. Closed mouths don't get fed. The first thing I'm going to say about this is remember that social media is a great tool and it should be your best friend. I know how draining social media can be. I really get it. But if you're looking to show off your work, to meet new people, to set yourself up with more opportunity, you want to make sure that your social media stays updated and that it looks professional. Put out high quality stuff to the best of your ability. But nowadays, if you have a smartphone, there is no excuse for you to be posting blurry photos. Make sure you clean your lens before you take a photo. Okay, that's a tip, and I hope you caught it. Nowadays, especially for dancers or like models, Instagram is like your resume, like your dance reel. So again, you want to put your best foot forward and make it easy for people to find you and see what you do. If your Instagram name is that girl 37712, I don't know what to tell you. People aren't gonna find you. So fix that. Have a professional email address. If your email address is thatgirl37712@gmail.com, girl, get it together. If you're a dancer and you want to book jobs, but you don't have any footage of yourself dancing on Instagram, you did not set yourself up for success. Also, if you're trying to book any kind of job, if you're like a photographer or something, I don't know, that's random, but like you should have a photo of yourself just so that people can like get the vibe. Like they're more likely to hire you if they can like see your vibe and like know that it's a good one. So have a current photo of yourself on your Instagram, set yourself up for success, keep it updated. So yes, Instagram, social media is a great tool to pitch yourself. Other great tools that I like to use are like casting networks, Backstage, LA Casting, variety of websites that you can use to submit yourself to jobs and projects. Again, you have to have updated headshots and resumes. You can also find casting agencies. If you're on casting networks, you can like see the name of the casting agency. Go follow them on Instagram, turn on their post notifications, and see when they're gonna be posting. When I'm going through a dry spell, which is inevitable as a freelancer, you know I'm about to be submitting myself on casting networks. And sometimes I forget. I get a little bit lazy. And then I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Missing out on these opportunities. That's what I'm doing. There are definitely gems on these casting platforms. And who knows, you might end up booking a major commercial. So don't miss out on the opportunity to pitch yourself. Also, here is some free game for any dancers who want to be signed to an agency. You can submit to agencies just by emailing them, but before you do, and before you tell anyone that I told you to, make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Again, do you have professional headshots? Do you have a dance reel that looks professional? If you do, and you feel as though you would benefit from having an agent, and an agent would benefit from having you as a client, put your headshot and your reel together in a nicely worded email and submit yourself. Pitch yourself. You never know what might happen. I'm getting ready to submit to some modeling agencies because it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I finally got some digitals together. I had been putting it off for a really long time, but I need to take my own advice and stop waiting. So that's what I'm on, and I hope that I can encourage someone, anyone, all of you, get on the same page. The last focus, and one of the most important on my journey, has been consistency. Surprise, surprise. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Consistency in every area that we have discussed. Consistently working on my mindset. Consistently investing in myself. Showing up for and nurturing my relationships. Consistently spending time with myself. Learning more about who I am. And consistently betting on myself, pitching myself, and creating opportunities for myself. And that's really what all of this is about. Having a strong mindset and using these tools and strategies is all about creating more opportunity for yourself. Not waiting for anyone else to do it for you. Once I figured out how to make these 5 focuses, these different tools and strategies work for me, more opportunities came into my life. Through my investments in myself, through the relationships that I built, etc. I just really hope that I was able to answer some questions in this video, help some of you guys start to visualize, strategize, and build a foundation for how you're going to approach your goals, whatever they may be. And like I said, I'm just getting started. I've only been in LA for 3 years, and I've been working pretty consistently for about 1.5 years now. But I've learned so much and experienced so much growth that I really just felt it on my heart to share that information with you. If you have any questions regarding career or just life in general, leave them down in the description box below. I would love to chat with you guys and get some more ideas for upcoming videos. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope that you take what I've shared and use it as inspiration. Keep putting one foot in front of the other and believe in yourself. Please make sure that you've subscribed to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up, share it. Last but not least, keep up with me on all of my socials, which are all linked in the description box below. That is all I've got for you. Hope that you all have a beautiful day. Love you. Mwah.